Here's something most brands don't explain. Cable ratio is what actually determines how a machine performs, not just the weight stack. In this video, Tyler from Solid Home Gym Reviews breaks down the cable ratios on the Legion Centurion CFT PRO so you can understand exactly what you're getting and why it matters. Because once you understand this, you'll never look at a functional trainer the same way again. Let's take a closer look.
This machine comes with 3 separate cable ratios that are interchangeable. So what is a cable ratio, you might ask? A cable ratio is basically the amount of weight you're going to feel when you put on your cable. And I know what you're thinking. Well, I selected 20 pounds. Why wouldn't I just feel 20 pounds? Well, all machines aren't created equally. This machine can basically do all of the common cable ratios. One of them is your 1-to-1 ratio, which basically is your true ratio. 1-to-1 ratio means you're going to feel 100% of the weight that you select to exercise with. This machine also has a 2-to-1 ratio. 2-to-1 ratio means you're going to feel about half the weight that you select to exercise with. So if I select 20 pounds on my weight stack, if I'm at a 2-to-1 ratio, I only feel about 10 pounds. And then this machine also has a 4-to-1 ratio. I'm sure you can figure this one out for yourself, but 4-to-1 ratio means you're going to feel about 25% of the weight that you put on your cable. Meaning if you select 20 pounds, you're only going to feel about 5 pounds. Now, there's lots of different benefits and downsides to this, but that is why this machine comes with pretty much all of them. So everything works for you. Let me explain a little bit of that right now. And what would be a great place to start is a cable we already talked about, your outside cables here, which are commonly used for cable crossovers and things like that. So you might notice 2 cables poking out of here. I am operating at a 4-to-1 ratio. That means right now I have 20 pounds selected and I'm feeling only 5 pounds. And not only that, now my cable stretches, well, pretty much across my entire gym. So I can do any exercise possible that I want with this guy. That's how far I'm stretching here. However, when I hook these 2 bad boys together, they create a 2-to-1 ratio, which is probably the best ratio for things like cable crossovers. Now, with a 2-to-1 ratio, I have 20 pounds selected, and I'm now feeling 10 pounds. And with that, my cable, although stretches pretty far, doesn't quite stretch as far as my 4-to-1 ratio. Now let's take a look at some other cables on this machine. As you may have already noticed, I have a pull-down cable, which is both of these guys right here. Both these guys and my cable down here at the bottom, which I'm just going to call my low cable or my row cable because that's what you're going to be using it for mainly. They all operate individually on a 2-to-1 ratio. But when you combine them together, they form a 1-to-1 ratio. I am feeling the full amount of the weight that I have selected. And this is about how far I can pull my 1-to-1 ratio. And same thing here down bottom with my low cable, which has a little connector piece in it. You can interchange it for the top and the bottom. But you might be saying, why is this impressive? Why is this important? Well, because we got a 200-pound weight stack here. 200 pounds. And if you're the big beefer, you want to take advantage of every single pound and make it count. These ratios are important so that you don't max out your stack. And these ratios are important because those lighter weights need to feel a little smoother on those 2-to-1, 4-to-1 ratios when you're doing things like cable crossovers. And now your adjustments can be much more incremental if you want them to be. But you also don't want those lightweight ratios when you're doing things like lat pull downs where you want 100% of that weight, because if you're the big beefer, you might max out that weight stack at 200 pounds with only a 2-to-1 ratio on your lat pull down, because that means you can only get 100 pounds total of your weight stack. So everything on this machine just lets you take advantage of that plate stack. And not only that, I just have multiple options to do everything on this machine. I have multiple spots to do whatever I feel like works the best on here. And so I think this is just a machine that's going to last you a really long time, and you're just never going to run out of stuff to do on this freaking thing. It is just so incredibly versatile. And if you couldn't tell by now, this is absolutely a machine that I'm going to recommend. I'm going to give a thumbs up to. To be honest with you, this one's getting 2 thumbs up.
Big thanks to Tyler from Solid Home Gym Reviews for breaking that down. Both the CFT and CFT Pro deliver the same cable performance. The CFT Pro simply adds the versatility of a Smith machine. If you want to learn more or see which setup is right for you, visit legionfitnessequipment.com or call 866-987-8963 to connect with a Legion representative. And remember, strong starts here.